got the little man, you got the big man, and you got the bigger man.
Hey, how you doing, everybody? It's Kellen Nitro for Nitromaniac TV's Wrestling Unlimited, coming at you today with another classic Nitro's Wrestling Unlimited Nitrostake. Yes, that's right, Nitrostake Live, coming at you live from Nitromaniac HQ. In case this is your first time joining us, it's a fun little hour and a half, 2 hours of kind of basically Oprah's book club, but for wrestling nerds. We watch a pay-per-view, we give our opinions on it. Sometimes it's the upteenth time we've seen this pay-per-view. Sometimes it's the first time we've seen this pay-per-view. I, for one, with today's show, this was the first time that I've ever seen it. And it was one of our co-hosts' picks. So I'll bring in our panel for today. We're down one, but we're still running hard. Mr. TL won't be able to join us today, but we have the Moorhouse has joined us live from his domicile. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing fantastic. How about you, sir?
Doing great. It's Saturday. We're kicking back and getting ready to talk some wrestling. But you know, when people are watching it, it could be even a Tuesday evening, and maybe they're driving around and that stuff, listening to us. So it's all good.
We are time travelers in your ears.
We're living in people's pockets, and of course, we've got our the noob, the N00B fan of them all, the man whose pay-per-view it was his pick this week. It's I believe in Craig Fraser.
Say his name and I appear.
That's right. How you doing?
Pretty good. Good. My hockey team is not doing good, but that's okay.
My hockey team is not doing good either.
Team is the first place Mile High Magic Denver Broncos.
Oh, that's right. The Broncos are doing good too. So
beat the Chiefs.
My Seahawks would be doing great. The problem is they're in the same division as the Los Angeles Rams. So
I was going to say there was no shame in that loss to the Rams. That was
no. That's probably going to be the matchup in the playoffs that the Seahawks will have to try and jump over to do anything. Will be once they play the Rams, but that's it. But yeah, football is shaping up. It's getting to that time of year. Getting to the time of year where it's getting a little cold, a little chilly outside, a little nibbly. So it's time to kick back and have a warm cup of joe and watch some old wrestling, you know, and this is kind of a busy time of year for it too, because the current stuff, we're getting ready for Survivor Series coming up next weekend, and the War Games, the big cage fight, you know.
War Games.
So that's next weekend, and I'm going to endeavor to try to do a show next weekend, maybe like a recap or something if anybody's around. It'll just be like a drop-in type thing and that stuff. So we also have a little add-ons with these sounds here too that we can. There we go. So there we go. We got that applause, and we got there's a heartbeat here too.
Uh-oh, Finn Balor.
It kind of has a march to it, though. It's like
that sounds like somebody's having the old Strizzoke over there. But anyway.
I was going to say, though, I am a fan of the green and white blanket you got behind you, Kellen.
Thank you. Yes.
Very Celtic FC colors.
So that will be the unveil for probably next month, because when we get into December and start doing December streams, we'll have there's lights behind that, but I'm not quite ready to roll it out yet. So
fair enough.
That's it. So that's what the green and white is. It could also be Saskatchewan Roughriders colors. Shout out to the Saskatchewan Roughriders, the Grey Cup champs this year. So
I suppose.
I know.
At least it's better than Calgary.
Yeah. Yeah, ABC, exactly. I was kind of hoping for BC to do something in the playoffs this year, but Saskatchewan just was better, so that was it. So, but
no time they started catching up with Grey Cups. They don't have a lot.
They've been around for 100 years. Only 5 times they've won the Grey Cup. Go
Oh.
figure.
Go for them.
Go figure, right? So there we go. But anyways, enough outside banter. It's time to talk wrestling, and it's time to talk Hog Wild 1996. We're going to Sturgis, baby. Sturgis, South Dakota. On August 10th, 1996. It's the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally, and Craig P. Fraser, this was your pick.
Yes.
Elaborate.
So I ride motorcycles myself.
Mhm.
I was just very surprised that they actually did a wrestling show at Sturgis. But I was like, that's interesting. I will say I have absolutely zero desire to ever go to a Sturgis rally.
Okay.
It's not as bad as it used to be. Where
Uh-huh.
actually around this time was kind of when it started to improve, because like it used to be like you only ride Harleys or big cruiser bikes, and if you show up on like a more of a sport bike, or even like me, I have a Ducati Diavo. It's like a sport cruiser.
I was going to
That
say you're a sport bike guy. Yeah, yeah.
Still kind of frowned upon. Don't drive the quote unquote rice rocket down here, sort of a thing. Mind you, my father-in-law, he didn't go to an actual Sturgis rally. He's a big Harley guy, but he went to the Sturgis, like that area. It was like instead of in August, he went to it in June.
Right.
Very lovely ride through the hills,
Black Hills.
in Black Hills in South Dakota. Go by Mount Rushmore, and you can see the Crazy Horse carving and everything like that. It's very cool. Very nice ride. So I would ride through the area, but I would never go to the actual rally. It's just, not my cup of tea.
So
interesting crowd of people, we'll say.
Yeah.
Interesting
breed of people. Yes, exactly.
Like just like the bands that were headlining the Sturgis concert last year, I'm pretty sure were Nickelback, Puddle of Mud, and Kid Rock, and that's pretty much all you need to know about the crowd that's gonna be there.
Yeah, exactly. Tons of they were talking about the Buffalo Chip Campground, which still exists in Sturgis. And their headliners this year read like a who's who of 1980s hair metal for the Sturgis rally. Talking
Striper.
Exactly. Striper, LA Guns, Y&T, stuff like that. So if you're into your hair metal, which I get down with, I dig that, but I don't know if I'd necessarily camp out for 2 days for it, but to each your own. So this is at the 96, right in the heart of the 1996 Sturgis Motorcycle Rally in Sturgis, South Dakota. This is when I talk about the venue typically and what arena it's in and whatever, and you're thinking, okay, this must be weird. Do they have like a little arena in Sturgis where they do this and that? No, it's a dirt parking lot.
It's just a parking lot. And they have everybody parked around it on their bikes and stuff.
That's right.
You can see the campers and cars in the back.
Yep.
And then the ring is a raised pit, elevated on dirt.
It looked extremely dangerous.
with like about a 4 or 5 foot gap to the actual dirt. Yeah.
Think the elevated ring at WrestleMania 3. But instead of it being in the middle of the Silver Dome or whatever big stadium and that stuff, it's just in the middle of a dirt pit parking lot you'd see at, like, I don't know, name any small town or wherever.
Gibbons. This is like Boonstock.
Exactly.
Boonstock.
I was thinking more like Banff. If you ever go to Banff, Alberta, and you go to where the old train station is in Banff, there's a giant of like where people park to walk into the town site and stuff like that. It kind of gives off that sort of vibe.
You have like a wrestling match at Tunnel Mountain. Just put it up in a campsite.
Not only that, a wrestling pay-per-view. So
whole thing.
We'll get into it as we roll along on the pay-per-view here. But another thing as well is this was a Saturday show for WCW back in the day. So this was the first pay-per-view right after the formation of the NWO, Bash at the Beach 1996. You can go back in our back archive here on Nitromaniac TV's Wrestling Unlimited and catch our show from earlier this year on Bash at the Beach 1996. It was a good discussion, and we'll have another good discussion today about it. But this is the first pay-per-view of the heel Hulk Hogan era. So we are in full entrenched NWO heel Hulk Hogan. It's still the core free. So Hogan, Nash, and Hall is your NWO, and they're in the main event scene with Luger, Sting, Macho Man, and Hulk Hogan, et cetera here. You do not see the Macho Man on this pay-per-view. And that's, that's because they wrote him off after the whole Bash at the Beach thing and that stuff, because I believe there was contract negotiations going on. So this was kind of the first real thing happening at the time where Macho Man could be going back to WWF or doing some Hollywood movies or something like that. So that's what we were looking at that point of time in '96. So sub open lot in Metro Sturgis, South Dakota. Seriously, first paper, like I said. Popular nomenclature, guys. This will be you guys can guess. Go around the horn here. Why was the reason WCW booked this pay-per-view in this location?
Because, as I know, Eric Bischoff is a gigantic motorcycle enthusiast, and he thought it would be a fantastic idea to do a cross promotion with Sturgis.
That's right. That's one of the reasons. Second reason, Hulk Hogan was also a huge motorcycle enthusiast. So they both wanted an excuse to check out the Sturgis rally. Both of them had never been. So
I think this is a perfect.
We'll get the company to pay for it.
That's right.
There.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the Adam Sandler vision of booking a production.
And it's honestly funny to see this as this was right as the WCW NWO thing was about to take over the ratings.
Yes.
97.
Yeah.
And it's funny how
we're in the rising action to that. Yes.
Yeah. You can already see how just I think it's kind of what I think Paul Heyman talked about these guys have their own kind of personal business that they can't get out of the way of.
Yeah.
And how WWF was more about, well, let's figure out what's going to be best for the business aspect of it, and not so much paying guys big contracts and fees and superstars. It's more about how do we make the business make stars. Whereas WCW was just the guy that was running the promotion and the top star who was getting paid how much money was just let's go to Sturgis.
Yeah.
He just decided to
let's go to the bike rally. Yeah.
Let's do what we want to do, you know, and then just make wrestling happen there.
On the other side of the ledger, WWF at this time is gearing up for another In Your House pay-per-view. I believe it has happened or will happen leading up to SummerSlam 96, but they in about this point in time are getting ready to sell out what is now Rogers Arena in Vancouver for a pay-per-view. So that's about 18,000 seats or something like that. That was the international incident In Your House. So that's what they are doing at that time and that stuff. And WCW is, let's load up. Let's do a live on location at Sturgis.
In a parking lot.
In a
field.
Yeah, that's better. Yes.
Yeah, but this field, the attendance in this field tonight was bigger than any attendance they've ever had in this field.
Oh,
I think the biggest attendance before was 4 people, so they broke it.
The biggest in a night in the history of our sport. So
no crowd was bigger in this field ever. There might have been a battle on the American frontier at some point. Nobody broke it. This is it.
So there you go. But anyways, we are in 1996, and Moorhouse, you brought this up off the top. We go right into a montage video setting the scene, making it look like the coolest place on the planet. Sure, whatever.
It's so family friendly. Bring your kids. Have fun. We have ice cream in Sturgis.
Did you like the knockoff era Van Hagar music that was playing?
Oh yeah, they had a Van Halen Right Now cover, just with a tweak, just that slight tweak, so it's not quite copyright.
Because don't forget, this is 1996, and that album that Right Now and Humans Being and everything. Twister was the biggest movie at the moment. Those songs are featured in that movie. So
I just kept thinking that this entire time, that entire crowd just smells like BO, alcohol, motorcycle exhaust, and herpes.
Oh God!
The whole time.
Yeah.
That's yesterday's cocaine on your shirt, sir.
Yep. Exactly.
They're also not the most accepting crowd as well. We'll get into that a little bit later on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have
We
thoughts
get
on
to
that when we
that.
get there.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. So, want to bring up this line here as well. Is that WCW obviously changing up the order here and going on a Saturday for this pay-per-view more than anything else. The Saturday pay-per-view for them, of course, kind of coincided with a programming conflict, because they still were stocking WCW Saturday Night on TBS 6:05 Eastern on the TBS station, of course. They were still stocking that show as basically their second show. So, their primary show was Monday Nitro. Their secondary show was WCW Saturday Night until the advent of Thunder back in 98. But at this time, this was their secondary show. So instead of doing a pre-tape for WCW Saturday Night, they just decided, you know what? We have all the stuff ready to go for the broadcast, for the pay-per-view. Let's just do WCW Saturday Night at Sturgis. That will be our 2-hour pre-show into the pay-per-view. And we'll just load it with matches. Well, they loaded it with matches, all right. There are 16 matches on this entire evening of WCW wrestling from front to back. 16 matches. We're going to talk about the final 8, because the final 8 was the ones that were on the pay-per-view. But there were 16 matches on this entire thing.
I do want to point out, because I have the Hog Wild, like the Wikipedia time frame and everything lined up, and like for those first 8 matches that were on the Saturday night show, like it's like the first 347, 424, 322, but then we have 30 seconds, 3 minutes 6 seconds, 2 minutes 37, 6:53, and then the main event apparently was only 40 seconds long.
That's right, because
between every commercial break, it's perfectly timed.
The only reason why that was 40 seconds long is because the NWO came out and attacked Arn Anderson.
Those heels.
That's why. But the pre-show matches, as Craig said, the Public Enemy defeated Mike Anus and Dick Slater in 3 minutes and 47 seconds.
Mike Anus, Jesus. What a name.
He was a Beverly brother in the WWF.
Jobber tag team. Yeah.
That's right. Exactly. Yep. Once they lost to Genius, it was all over for the Beverlys. Yes. So, Conan defeated Chavo Guerrero Jr. in 424, which has to be. I haven't seen Chavo's name on any WCW stuff prior to this. That might have been Chavo's WCW debut.
That's Baby Chavo 96. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. The Nasty Boys defeated High Voltage in 322. Sign me up for that one.
Hey, former tag team champion Kenny Chaos.
That hasn't happened in WCW lore.
Not yet.
In a couple of years in October, you better be there, Kenny. Alex Wright defeating, basically Bobby Eaton doing the Blue Bloods gimmick, Earl Robert Eaton, in 30 seconds. So that must have been like a squash type thing or whatever. Dungeon of Doom, which is Barbarian Ming and the Taskmaster, defeating the jobber team of Jim Powers, Joe Gomez, and Mark Starr at 3 minutes and 6 seconds.
Dang.
So they
had that. I thought those guys had it this time.
So this is obviously setting the illusion that the Dungeon of Doom are at the venue and will be able to fight off the NWO later on for their guy. We'll talk about that when
they flip babyface because the NWO is more heel.
Basically, yeah. and the Dungeon of Doom was goofy enough that the fans were like, "Yeah, we'll get behind that, sure."
Good God.
Squire David Taylor defeating Jerry Lynn, Mr. JL, in 2 minutes and 37 seconds.
Mr. Personality, Jerry Lynn.
Jerry Lynn, yes, there we go. Still doing a Mr. JL gimmick at this point. Diamond Dallas Page defeating the Renegade in 6 minutes and 53, and probably the most competitive match on the show.
Featuring the B Warrior. Okay.
Yeah, the Timo Ultimate Warrior, the Renegade. Yeah. And then the 42nd Arn Anderson gets attacked by the NWO Angle. at the end of the show. That's it. But that's it. That's WCW Saturday Night, which rolls into the pay-per-view. We have some awkward stuff off the beginning of the pay-per-view where Tony Schiavone signs off to the TBS crowd because apparently they saw the ring entrances for the first match being the Cruiserweight title between Ultimate Dragon and Rey Mysterio Jr. And right when they were about ready to ring the bell, they signed off. Man, that would have really irked me back in the day.
Man, and I can't help but feel that like the crowd at Sturgis, like what this particular event, it's like this isn't probably just like a pure wrestling crowd. Like this is not a bunch of like hardcore, like we want to watch wrestling fans.
These are people that saw what was going on, decided to crowd in around a ring, and was like, you know what, we'll spend an hour or two watching this. You know,
Yeah,
I made an observation with the crowd that this felt like one of those YouTube videos where a guy wants to we put 1,000 bikers in front of a wrestling event. See what happens.
Mr. Beast. The last biker that can stand watching this pay-per-view will get $1 million.
There you go.
The last guy who's not on either cocaine or completely shit-faced will get $1 million.
So I'm always one. Let's just face it. My inner 12-year-old kid always still laughs at fart and sex jokes basically, and has a rib shot coming in on the chat with a good one. Dick and Anus for Mike Anus and Dick Slater. So
yeah, I know Dick and Anus.
Dick and Anus. I had to laugh at that. I loved it.
God,
that's great.
How did this company get bankrupt? I don't get it.
How did this company get big? That's the thing.
Is this already after the whole Yeti thing? Like when?
Yes.
Oh yeah, this is after
Yeti was October 9th.
The Yeti.
The love mummy.
Oh, God.
He was softening him up.
Yeah. That was Halloween Havoc 95. We're in August of 96 already. So
a year after that.
Almost a year after, yeah, exactly.
Really?
So the Yeti has come and gone. The Yeti's already frozen back in that mountain somewhere.
He'll be part of Ravens flock in half a year.
Yes, exactly. Yep. Yes, for sure. Commentary team for this pay-per-view. The WCW A squad of Tony Schiavone, Dusty Rhodes, and Bobby the Brain Heenan.
Great outfit, boys.
Yeah, awesome.
This is like this is how I imagine the Village People would look like when they retired.
Yeah,
it's brutal, and not to mention like Tony Schiavone. I think pretty. Good, I think, throughout, but like Bobby the Brain Heenan,
he's wearing the leather pants and leather jacket.
Yeah, I wanted to kill Bobby the Brain Heenan throughout this.
Bobby had zero interest in being there that day. He was just
happy. He was grumpy.
Yeah,
not happy at all being there.
But every pinfall, it was like 1, 2. He's like, he's got him, and then they're like, he kicked out. He's like, stop it! Like Tony Schiavone's like. Brian, he's like, Bobby, stop saying that he's got him. He doesn't have him. He's like, no, I think he got him.
It's because they probably sat through the previous 8 matches and that stuff, and so he's thinking, okay, let's go, let's get going.
I gotta get back home.
I want to leave this.
This is not my people.
Because he's got probably meeting up with the family in Denver later on that night because they're going to Denver for Clash of the Champions right after this. So,
and I can't imagine another just a horrible idea is because throughout the show you get different intermittent parts of motorcycles being revved to ridiculous volumes, and it's like if I was there trying to watch the wrestling, and if I was a wrestling fan that went to Sturgis to see this, and I have some asshole on his Harley, street glide, just right next to me the whole time. I'm like, stop! Like it would be so loud.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's probably miserable, absolutely miserable.
This was not a good idea in hindsight.
And don't forget, Craig, this is the first of 3 of these that WCW has done because they do 4.
They do 4 all the way to 99.
The 99,
at Sturgis or
at Sturgis. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I went to 4 times.
4 straight ones. 97, 97, 98, and the main event in 98 featured Jay Leno, and then 99 was the last one there. Yeah,
was and that was Hogan, I think, in the main event again.
Again, yes, yeah.
Good God, we'll get to that main event, but let's jump into the match.
Yeah, so we'll get into the matches here and that stuff. WCW Cruiserweight title was the first matchup of the evening. It was what they're calling they trade names with old Dragon here. Sometimes they say Ultimate Dragon, sometimes they say Ultimate Dragon versus Rey Mysterio Jr. The runtime for that one was 11 minutes and 35 seconds, and Rey Mysterio Jr. getting the win. What was the finish here? Oh yeah, the top rope Hurricane Rana by Rey Jr. gets the 1-2-3 after a very awesome springboard plancha to the outside by Mysterio. That was back when he was younger and probably took more risks because dude looked like he fell off the side of a building when he jumped out of the ring.
yeah, we see that dangerous height there of
the
ring being lifted.
The bumps sound epic on that platform. Like that's probably not mic'd at all, but man, anybody who bumped on that sounded like their life was coming to an end that night. It just boom.
It probably hurt like a son of a because it's dirt. It's just solid dirt
underneath it, and then I'm thinking it's probably the platform. It's not a plywood stage. I'm thinking it's an actual stage like you use on a rock band or something like that. So it's probably like steel grating or something like that underneath it.
Well, sometimes during the event, you can see the ring kind of shuffle, so it's not exactly in place steady.
I didn't even notice that. Oh my God.
Yeah, like it doesn't move too much, but you can see it move shift a little bit,
Somebody hits the ropes, a ring over.
I would be curious to hear from some of the wrestlers about this pay-per-view and shoot interviews just to see what was that quality like. Like Big Show was here obviously as the Giant, Nash, Rey Mysterio.
Well, like I said, Rey took that nasty bump that he almost fell down again from the elevation of the ring to the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Ultimately, I felt that this was a good match. It was a good opener. I mean, you got two of the best kind of known luchadors, Ultimo Dragon and Rey Mysterio.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I thought good starter considering everything else going on in the environment here and where they're doing this match. Like, I thought this was I mean, first of all, do a different day. Like you should have, I don't know if you were there all weekend, because Sturgis is a multi-day thing.
It's a whole week thing. Yeah.
Do the prelim matches on a whole other card. Don't make people sit
You've
there.
tired your crowd already. That doesn't care about wrestling.
You do your countdown to Road Wild maybe the night before or something like that with all those matches that you have listed. And then you can run your Arn Anderson gets jumped by the NWO angle and that stuff as the blow off for the night. And then you have them come back the next night. Yeah, exactly.
You could tape it on different nights. Yeah, nobody would know, really.
Yep, 2-night taping. Exactly. You'd probably still get the same result for crowd and that stuff right there. And that's it. So a couple of things here off the top of the show that I noticed. The state of the security here. It looks like it's just Doug Dillinger, who is WCW head of security, and volunteers in orange shirts, like they were parking bikes. And that's all they were doing. There was no security around the ring whatsoever, other than like the classic railing. That's it.
Were they just like Sturgis staff, like volunteers?
I don't know if they were.
They're probably just Sturgis
staff.
volunteer
I think they're
staff,
probably just volunteer staff. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, hey, you want to volunteer at Sturgis? Oh, I love Sturgis. What do you have for me? Well, we have event security coordinator. Are you okay with that? Well, sure. What is it? Oh, you're blocking some bikers from attacking wrestlers later on.
Yeah, don't let them jump in the ring. That's basically it.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't ask any of the Hell's Angels or whoever were pulling in for Sturgis. Say will you guys do security? That worked really good at that music festival.
Craig, I was going to say Craig's booking the Ultimate of wrestling pay-per-views now at this point. The Hell's Angels are doing security at his show. The crowd is chanting USA during this match. One man is Japanese, the other is Mexican. Not dealing with the brightest bunch of bulbs here at all.
No. I guess Rey Mysterio was born in, I thought he was
he's from San Diego.
San Diego, Tijuana area, yeah.
But he's definitely, he's
American.
He's very Yeah, but he's also very proud of his
Yeah.
Mexican heritage.
He's,
He's-
yes, he is.
He literally has
Mexican-
tattooed
Canna,
Mexican
yeah.
on his
Yeah, exactly.
on his stomach.
And Arai Dragon, 100% Japanese. You know,
Yes.
one of the Japanese legends when it comes to junior heavyweight wrestling and stuff like that throughout the years and everything. So
Maybe they're
So-
cheering for USA for Sonny Ono because he technically is American.
from
That's
Minneapolis,
exactly who you're cheering for. Sonny Ono. Sonny Ono.
the inventor of the selfie, Sonny Ono.
There you go.
There you go. Yes, exactly. So, I thought I had another graphic from that match, but whatever. It's so the opener I thought was solid. I just was angry that it was wasted on that crowd. I was like, this isn't a crowd that is going to appreciate it, but you know,
It's a classic Dragon Mysterio match. A lot of fun. I give it a solid 8 out of 10. The crowd unfortunately knocks it down probably to a 6 out of 10 because they were more interested in entertaining themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. This is exactly what it is. They were so done and burnt out, and most of them don't give a shit about wrestling. So they're like, whatever. Who cares?
So, Mean Gene is up next. He's hyping the scam line. I mean, the hotline. Looks like the guy from Weekend at Bernie's.
He looks like the dad that is just fed up with the family camping trip already. I am going home tomorrow.
Dad said back to Winnipeg.
He just bought a nice new motor for his Skidoo.
Exactly. So, and you can tell, like the lighting in this thing. We'll talk about this a little bit later on. How they shot this show and just the ambient lighting because it's an outdoor shoot, just changes throughout the show, and it's just terrible at times. Like, it's horrible.
When the sun starts to go down,
it's noticed very bad.
Yeah.
I think the lights kick on during one of the matches. Like you see
during
at a certain point, the lights just go and the ring gets really bright.
We'll talk about it when it happens, but I believe it's during the Flair Guerrero.
It's during the Flair Guerrero match. I actually wrote it down here as well.
Yeah. So we'll talk about it again. Yeah. Our next contest: Scott Norton versus Ice Trade. Hello, 1996 WCW. This is
WCW Power Hour.
It runs 5 minutes and 5 seconds, boys. And Scott Norton defeats Ice Trade by submission because apparently on WCW Saturday Night, Old Ice got jumped by Scott Norton and his shoulder got tweaked. And Scott Norton uses an arm bar for the submission victory. He wins via arm bar.
Whoever did the bandaging for Ice Train should be fired. Within the first minute of the match, his bandages, which are supposed to be taped on quite secure to help his arm, that seems to be in quite just fall off.
Yeah,
just completely fall off.
I forgot to do
Sturgis. They've been drinking a little bit for a while.
Pretty much.
I forgot to do this earlier, but I got to summon the thing at the bottom. I got to go, "Whoa, Undertaker!" at the bottom of the screen.
Oh, yes.
It's a Nitromaniac TV's Undertaker with all of the match times and stuff, so you can follow along as we go along. But anyway, yes. So Ice Train got jumped. They bandaged the shoulder up very comically, and Scott Norton. This was a very lousy match. That I would have wanted to see the Arn Anderson NWO angle here on the pay-per-view. That would have been fine. Have Arn Anderson versus Hugh Morris, and then 40 seconds in have the NWO jump Arn Anderson. Sure.
This is a TV match you would see on not their A-level TV, not their B-level TV, but their C-level TV that you would show on for an hour during any advert. Both guys had the speed of they could both go maybe 5 kilometers a day if they ran.
Yeah, there was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he seemed so blown up the whole time.
Oh God, yeah, it was bad. This match would have fallen, Craig. There was 2 kind of C-level syndicated shows WCW were putting out at this time. One was called WCW Pro Wrestling. It typically ran, I think, Sunday nights in about this era on all the Turner Network stations and that stuff for about an hour. And they typically shot that at Universal Studios. And then later on, and adjacent to it, was WCW Worldwide, which was the longest running syndicated show. That one would show up on
Fox TV affiliates.
Yeah, or a KHQ channel free out of Spokane or something like that on NBC or something like that. That one they actually physically syndicated out to like different networks and stuff at that time. So
it's similar to when we had WWF like Shotgun Saturday.
Yeah, or Jacked or Metal back in the day. If you remember those, but
it strikes me as you had a bit of a decent start to your programming with Mysterio and Ultimo Dragon, and then you just dropped it into the toilet with this one.
But you know what the funny thing is? The crowd actually liked this match better than they liked the Mysterio Dragon.
Yeah, they were popping. That's so maybe they like the two big meaty men slapping meat in this thing.
I was gonna say, I think that part of it is they saw these two, like this little Mexican guy and this little Japanese guy, and they're like, "Who gives a shit about this US?" And then they get these big two honking
meaty men,
big meaty men walking out to the ring, and they're like, "Oh, here we go. This is gonna be good."
Yeah,
and it just wasn't.
Yeah, exactly. For sure. So, we get kind of a weird / cool video package after this of Ric Flair talking basically about I guess the attack that just happened with Arn Anderson and mostly more about the stuff that happened in Orlando at Disney, the infamous attack backstage at Disney the night after Bash at the Beach, where Arn Anderson got laid out, and Rey Mysterio got dartboarded into the side of the trailer and the whole deal, right? The gang attack at Disney back in the day. And the only real interesting thing that came out of this was Flair basically saying that the Horsemen would have let the NWO run their course and do their thing had Arn not got attacked. That to me was kind of interesting. So I was like, okay, that's, so they didn't feel threatened by them by any stretch of the imagination or anything.
It's amazing that after his buddy got attacked and up to this match, in that time frame, he decided to do a sit-down one-on-one interview.
I know,
incident.
Right?
He saw his buddy get attacked. Like, when was that? It was about 20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Arn Anderson and the Four Horsemen were attacked, but I'm going to sit here and do an interview with you. Woo! And then I'm going to go outside after that. I'm going to wrestle the Guerrero. Just like, what?
In a purple dressing room of all things.
Where did you get this?
I don't know. Yeah.
WCW.
I don't know if they had to have been using the dressing room and that stuff of that high school that was adjacent to everything. There was a high school that was just to like the northeast that had like a sports field and stands and everything to it, and that had to have been what they were using for a dressing room for that thing. But just weird stuff. So yeah. So this is fun. We have a merch plug after this. With Jimmy Hart, the merch that screams 1996 white guy. And what's with
I believe there's a lot of jean jackets. They're trying to sell you a jean jacket too.
Exactly. What's with the t-shirt sizing only up to XL as well? I mean, you're marketing to a bunch of bikers. A lot of them, they're extra large in like high school.
Yeah, there's a lot of big bellies there.
You need like the parachute size, man. You need like the double and triple XL happening.
Yep.
So,
LX size.
Yeah. LXL. Yeah, exactly. So, all right. I need Craig Fraser's expert opinion on this next match here, because our next matchup is the battle for the bikes. The battle for the bikes between Bull Nakano with Sonny Ono and Medusa. So Craig, explain to me, as a bike guy, the rivalry, and you hit on this a little bit earlier, the rivalry between American Harley owners and Japanese bike owners.
Well, there's always been a perception, usually in the US and in Canada too, about cruisers that, Harley, they are the best. You can get Victory motorcycles, American made. The quote unquote power of the V twin. You see motorcycle engines, you see two carbs that have the V. It's the V twin. They're two very big, powerful cylinders. They generate a lot of power. You get like the 1200, 1800 cc bikes with the big two cylinders. That's why it makes this big kind of sound. Personally, I think that Harleys, like in this era,
Mhm.
96.
Mhm.
You can get like some of the Honda, Street Glides,
Mhm.
Fat Boys. They're pretty good bikes.
Yes.
Now, for me, Harleys, I think you're paying too much now
Mhm.
for Harley, because you can buy a brand new Harley
Mhm.
Davidson, Street Glide, that's like with the big fairing, like you can be spending $40,000 brand new.
Yes. Yeah.
Versus I can go get a Honda Shadow that's like a 1200 or a Rebel 1000 that I'll spend 28,000 on,
Mhm.
and it's a better made bike.
Yes.
Sorry to say, but I also know a lot of Harley guys. They like to put the work in on their bikes,
Mm.
the wrench time in, and that's
Yeah.
because they're not
That's
as
the
well
appeal
known.
of it.
But yeah, sometimes it is. You put the wrench time in on your bike, and they're, I don't know. It's a preference. You're buying a brand. You're buying that slice of Americana, riding down the highway, wind in your hair, listening to Tom Seeger. That is
USA.
And
got the Eagles just blaring a 10 on the speaker. Yeah.
Meanwhile, you get bike makers from Japan,
Mhm.
Honda, Yamaha, Suzuki, Kawasaki, great bike manufacturers. And it's that perception of, it's the same thing as domestic versus import vehicles that still exist, like for trucks.
Yes.
There's guys that like, it's the three big, well, technically four, but really it's three: GM, Chevy, and GM, and then Ford, Ram.
Yeah.
And then like a guy will show up with like a Toyota Tundra. They're like,
the Chevy guys.
like,
the Chevy guys hate the Ford guys. The Ford guys hate the Chevy guys.
There's infighting.
Yeah.
Like personally, like, because Victory doesn't exist anymore. They brought back the Indian motorcycle name,
right?
And it got so popular, and they made a very, very good engine with the new Indian Chief and the Scout that they shut down Victory. That now it's just Indian.
Gotcha.
And personally, if I was going to buy a domestic cruiser, I'm not buying a Harley. I would probably buy an Indian Chief.
Gotcha. Fair enough.
Now, this particular match is essentially that.
You're playing off of the rivalry between the Japanese bike owners and the American bike owners.
Here comes the American hero face on the Harley
blonde,
blonde, wearing the stars and stripes, custom Harley. She's got the leather, tassels on it.
Yeah,
she looks like them.
Yes, she is one of them.
and she
one of us.
And here's the thing: I the kind of bike she's riding, it is actually a good bike. That kind of Harley is a good Harley to buy. I mean, you're still putting in some wrench time. It's a Harley. It's still expensive. But then Bull Nakano, here comes the Japanese heel. Boo. But riding, in my opinion, a way superior motorcycle. The Honda CBRs, the 1000s that they did the sport touring back in '96. These are phenomenal bikes. Like, they're really good. If you wanted to go on like a good trip, like this thing hauls ass, and it would leave that like on a cruise. Like that's where Harleys are big and powerful, and they're great on a highway cruise. But if you're looking for that quick, nimble bike that goes to the mountains, you can't beat the Japanese bikes. You just can't. I don't care who you are. You're going to tell me that if I was on or even a British, like the Triumph Street Triples or a Rocket Triumph, like I'm taking a Triumph over a Harley or an Indian.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's in my mind, it's just a quality thing. But I mean, I could easily hear people on the other side screaming like, more power.
Yeah.
More power in the Harley. And I'm like, you're slow. Sorry.
Exactly. Yeah. So, but I thought I had a picture of the Nakano bike, but it has a really cool kind of I guess it's like a airbrushed looking like Japanese rising sun motif to it, and the whole 9 yards on it. Yeah.
Both of these bikes are nice.
Oh, they're beautiful. Yeah. They're
both of these bikes. Like the Harley is a great cruiser. This year of Harley is a great cruiser. And that year the CBRs, like any CBRs, like that's why, like, just to talk about Japanese bikes for a quick second.
Sure.
Like there's usually this war between Suzuki, Yamaha, and Kawasaki about who's fastest.
Okay.
Right. So Suzuki came out with the 1300 Hayabusa, which is like their big, it was the fastest production bike. And then Kawasaki was like, well, we made the 1400 Ninja. That's the fastest. Yeah. And it is the fastest, but then Suzuki challenged them to a race and Kawasaki foolishly accepted and the Hayabusa beat it.
Yeah.
And so it was like, well, so technically Kawasaki's like, we're the fastest. Suzuki's like, we're technically the fastest in a race. And then Yamaha says, we have the R1. The Yamaha R1 is the fastest 1000cc sport bike.
Yeah.
It's won the most championships, probably because they had the Wayne Gretzky of motorcycle racing, Valentino Rossi in MotoGP, who
He was good. Yeah.
won all his championships riding a Yamaha.
He was very good. Yeah.
And then Honda, it's like, well, Honda goes, which manufacturer has won the most manufacturers championships?
Mm-hmm.
Honda.
Mm-hmm.
And like John Cena, because he does a lot of those voiceovers for the Honda commercials, you really can't beat a Honda engine. You really can't. They started making motorcycle engines before they made car engines. And the Honda Wing, like I had the VFR 800 Interceptor, and I've had a CBR 600 before my Ducati. Like, they're phenomenal bikes. Honda, you can't build a better engine for a motorcycle in my mind. And that's just kind of what you're going up against here. Is you have that Harley Americana versus Honda reliability. That's what this match was. In many ways, you had that Medusa Americana, big boisterous power, and then you have Bull Nakano, which is really just a quality heel wrestler that looked a lot throughout her career.
The runtime for this thing was 5 minutes and 21 seconds. Match starts really hot because Bull just jumps Medusa with the nunchucks in the ring and doing that whole thing. And then these girls are working. Like, this is we are getting an all Japan women's caliber match out of both of them.
And the crowd's hot too.
Yeah, and the crowd's hot for it too, and that stuff. We're getting sling blades from Medusa a good 20 years before everybody and their dogs started doing them on wrestling cards and everything. So I have down they wasted an all Japan caliber women's match on this crowd, but the crowd actually does wake up for this. They are in it.
This is the hottest the crowd will be until later on in the main event.
Yes, absolutely. For sure.
Oh, and later on the tag team match that we'll talk about later.
So the finish to this thing is Nakano nets a 2 count on a belly to back. Sonny Ono grabs the sledgehammer and tries to trash Medusa's bike, and it was the most wimpy. It wasn't a Triple H sledgehammer throw.
Come on, the crowd was behind Sonny Ono earlier in the night, and he's going to give them this as a performance.
This is kind of more like, like that.
Well, it's weird because it feels like the match didn't really end.
The match didn't end. That was, I noticed. I'm like, what happened? Everyone just jumped off and started attacking motorbikes.
So
and then she just comes out, and then like, it hurts my feelings.
She grabs the sledgehammer and starts going to town on the Nakano bike.
That's okay. Turner paid for that bike.
I know, but it was such a nice bike, and then and of course the fucking American crowd is just like, and I'm like, oh man, like, fuck you guys.
So we go back to a replay because Tony's screaming, go back to a replay, and then we watch the replay, and it's the classic. Nakano's shoulders were down on the double pin, and right when the count went free, Medusa rolled her shoulder up. So technically, Medusa then takes control of the pin in the wrestling psychology state of it for the 1-2-3. So that's how that match ends.
It didn't end, though. It didn't end.
It had a really bad finish, but this was a good match up until that finish.
Oh, absolutely.
I could hear Mr. TL right now, wherever he is, screaming about psychology and how that was not the
You thought that was the best ending?
Exactly.
His eyes.
Exactly. Yeah, just bugging right out.
It was a great opening of the match, great middle of the match, but it didn't have an ending.
No ending. It kind of just they kind of meandered off to just pounding the crap out of bikes.
Get to the angle. Yeah,
exactly. So there we go. Oh, now we focus to you, Mr. Moorhouse. Tell me about CompuServe and WCW CompuServe.
Jesus Christ.
Oh boy. I mean, Saturn wears that all the time, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Or is that Steiner's?
This is the Steiners. This is
those
Rick
are
and
Steiners.
Scott.
Oh boy.
Those are the Steiners. They're doing the Shawn Michaels e-chat gimmick a good 6 to 8 months before the Shawn Michaels e-chat thing was a thing, basically. But yes, you could chat during
you
these
could go in a
pay-per-views.
chat room and
About the
share your
pay-per-view.
personal information with Scott or Rick Steiner, and maybe you'll get to meet him at a mall nearby in a couple days.
or you meet a couple of lookalikes that look like Scott and Rick Steiner, but totally aren't. You know, they're
The innocent days
they're
of the
Bob and
internet.
Jeb that work at the power plant or something like that.
Also, let's remove all doubt now that Scott Steiner did he take steroids? Like later they show them ripping around like the wrestlers on their bikes, and Scott Steiner looks like he's been inflated by the air as they're flying through. Like his bicep.
Pop.
Oh God, I was like, oh yeah, that guy's
Big
not.
Papa.
We're only a couple years till Big Papa Pump arrives.
Yeah.
Oh yes, of course.
He's already pumping at that point. So there we go. Our next contest on the pay-per-view, maybe match of the night, considering what we see a little bit later on, and that's at least a strong contender for it. We have Dean Malenko with Jimmy Hart versus Chris Benoit with women and Miss Elizabeth. Now, Jimmy Hart kind of takes off from Dean Malenko at the beginning of this match. This was like a weird 2 or 3 week thing where Dean Malenko was actually a member of the Dungeon of Doom. I had forgotten about this. It was like a 2 or 3 week run.
Yeah, I never even knew until you talked about it.
They basically, that's the tag match later. Okay. Do I have a graphic from that? I probably do. Yeah, there we go. That's it. So yeah. They basically brought him in to go to war.
Tights. That's cute.
Yeah, look at that. Synergy. It's corporate synergy. Look at that. But they brought him in to be kind of the grappler, to wrestle the grapplers and the Horsemen, because the Dungeon of Doom Horseman feud is kind of ongoing at this point, so, or still smoldering a bit. So that's the whole reasoning behind that. But anyway, Dean Malenko versus Chris Benoit, 2650. This is another ECW match that had come to where the big boys play, because I believe Paul booked this a couple of times on some ECW cards to great acclaim and everything. Malenko is fresh off the Cruiserweight title run he had earlier in the year, and Benoit is fresh off of that controversial storyline with the Taskmaster. So it's a fresh matchup nationally, at least. Like the majority of wrestling fans would have not seen this in 1996, so it's still kind of a fresh matchup. This match is kind of infamous because this match was included on the Chris Benoit Memorial Raw broadcast the day that the Benoit murder-suicide was announced, as a quote-unquote tribute, in air quotes.
I honestly think this match could have been half the time.
Mm-hmm.
Just
this match had no ending. That was my problem. It's
another match with no ending.
Another 5 minutes. Oh, we hit the time limit. Another 5 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like these guys could obviously go forever. You have two amazing workers in there, but it's like you're a mid-card matchup. This doesn't need to go a 30-minute slobber knocker Iron Man match.
The crowd appreciates technical wrestling.
Yeah.
Not at all.
No.
They have no interest in watching this.
Another solid match with zero ambience because, again, it got wasted on the crowd. Yes.
Well, and the crowd is whistling at Woman and Miss Elizabeth.
They're catcalling the valets at the ringside. Yes,
because they're so bored. This is not for them.
It was brutal.
Yep.
The match good, like the working great.
Oh,
I just think it could have been shorter, but like the crowd again is the huge sag on this entire pay-per-view up to this point has been the crowd.
Good match, dare I say, phenomenal match. But yeah, the problem is the crowd is not interested in what's happening in the ring
and then my other problem I have with the match, like it is a good technical match, but why the extensions? Why the double overtime? If there's no title involved or no money involved or no prize involved, it's just a standard one-on-one match. It should have just ended at a 20-minute timeout.
You're just basically, keeping the coals hot on a feud between the Horsemen and the Dungeon of Doom at this point.
But the crowd doesn't care. This is not the match to extend an extra 6 minutes out of.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's the match that they could have extended because of the guys that were participating in it, but it's not the one storyline wise that you want to keep going.
Yeah. Just because you have the staff to do it doesn't necessarily mean you should do it.
Yep.
That's absolutely right. So Benoit rolls up Malenko with the aid of woman at ringside with the assisted small package, and that's the 1-2-3 for the finish at 26.50 on Dean Malenko. So that was the end of that one. Yeah, I think we said all we could say about that match too. Like, good solid match, but man, the overtime and then double overtime just sets a dangerous precedent, because if that's your first time watching a WCW pay-per-view, you think, okay, if they hit the 20-minute time limit, they go into overtime.
No, they don't. Just randomly, they choose random.
Just randomly, they choose it, right? So
it's like, oh, you stepped onto the bonus square. You get an overtime now.
You get all the points.
It completely defeats the purpose of having a time limit on the match. If it's like, oh, you've reached the 20-minute time limit, go another 5.
Sure.
Maybe they're calling back. Hey, Eric,
go
are we ready?
5.
Are we ready, Eric? No, we're not ready. Give me 5 more minutes.
Yeah.
Is Ric Flair woken up from his drug alcohol stupor yet? No.
We don't,
5 more.
We don't know what bar in Sturgis Flair's at right now, so we're trying to find out which bar he's at.
No, he was doing a sit down 1-on-1 after his best friend got beat up earlier in the night.
Yes, but that was a good 30 minutes ago. Moorhouse, we could have lost him by then. You know? I tell you, I was across the street at the bar.
I was drinking over there.
At the bar.
Like, hey,
I'd come over here and have a match, but I'm not ready yet. The 4 horsemen are only ready to go. Woo!
Yeah, exactly. So. Yeah, and also the crowd, they popped for the first overtime announcement. They were audibly mixed at the result of the second overtime. Though.
They wanted
they
this
were
over.
Like, we're cool with the time limit draw at this point. Why is this continuing?
Is this our second escape of hell where we just watch this match for eternity?
We've hit the 5th time limit.
97 time limit tonight. Another 5.
Another 5 minutes, please.
Meanwhile, both guys are just heaving in corner.
Just throwing up.
Good old WCW. Anyways, next contest is for the WCW World Tag Team title. You have the Steiner brothers challenging Harlem Heat for the Tag Team Championship. The runtime for this thing was 17 minutes and 53 seconds, and it is Harlem Heat defeating the Steiner brothers with both managers getting involved for Harlem Heat, because this was the sensational Sherry is married to Colonel Robert Parker era of WCW management at this point, right? So Sherry hits the powder on Rick, and Parker hits Scott with his cane, allowing a 1-2-3 and Harlem Heat to retain the titles.
And man, did Harlem Heat have heat?
Yes, we should talk about that.
I can only imagine why.
Not heat. Not heat for the reason they normally get heat.
No, no. They were heat because unfortunately, but
there was a bunch of drunk white motorcycle enthusiasts who happened to be hicks that saw 2 black men coming to the ring and thought, "Screw you guys!" That's what happened.
This was uncomfortable as the crowd has ever been.
I don't think the fact that they had as a management team an insanely hot white chick and basically a slave owner from the 1800s as their managers, but let's just call it as it is here. I don't think that help matters.
And I mean, to give
and again, these bikers are not wrestling fans, so they're going based on what they see.
Yes. And to give Booker and Stevie Ray credit, they milk the shit out of it.
Oh, it's a phenomenal job by Harlem Heat.
Oh,
one of their better matches of the year for sure.
When I think there's one like Booker, like I think he did get up on the rope or something, like look out, and I think he did yell like "stupid crackers" or something.
Yeah, yeah.
That was like
Yeah.
So hard. I was like, ought to be Booker. Like, I mean, because like I would have been like, if I was them, I'd be like, we are surrounded by a bunch of rednecks.
Are we going to make it out today?
Yeah. Like
The
they're drunk, they're on drugs, they're revving motorcycles, and they're
encouraging each other.
what's the Uncle Scar line from The Lion King? I'm surrounded by idiots. That's what.
Yeah, and like I mean, the motorcycle revving got very loud in this match.
Oh
and
yeah,
I'm sure it was drowning out certain words.
Well, here's the thing about, I forgot to mention this earlier too, is that at times where the motorcycle revving had died down, the sound of the freaking chopper circling the arena drowned out anything that anybody was trying to say. I'm like, who called in the airstrike? What's going on here?
That was just the police chopper because they're just like, there's two black
found
men.
everybody.
They're getting the white people all rowdy up. They're like sending the cop chopper. We got to make sure nothing bad happens.
Because
here.
everybody
There's
is
two
there.
colored
That's
gentlemen in a field in the middle of nowhere in Sturgis. We
South
have to
Dakota.
investigate.
Up to this point, it was just pretty much all white competitors, except for I guess Ice Trade. He got Uzo. But it's like up to this point, there's two black guys out here now. Then they send the police chopper in to make sure nothing bad happens.
Yeah. So, yeah. Well, that's an interesting footnote in Harlem Heat and Booker T and Stevie Ray's career is this contest with the Steiners at Road Wild and that stuff. Steiners look like they've been having fun that weekend in Sturgis. Not necessarily one of their better matches. I've found they were a little bit sloppy in that thing, but that's probably because they had indulged a little bit in libations that weekend and around Sturgis. So,
that was a confirmed thing.
I would think with the amount of talent there and that stuff, and the fact that you're basically going to wrestle at a giant party, you would be tempted to take part in said party. So.
And I will say that is also another reason why I've never really wanted to go to Sturgis. I think at this point in time, it was worse. Like nowadays, it's definitely not as bad, but there is definitely that element of like, you see all the biker dudes riding into town on their Harleys, and everybody's like, and then like a couple black guys riding on their bikes, and it's like
the bike,
like okay, I know what's going on here.
The bike rally I'd love to go check out in person is they do something in Butte, Montana, sometimes called Butte, Montana, but anyway, but Butte, Montana. I think every July or something like that. It's called Evil Knievel Days because Evil Knievel was from Butte, and it's motorcycle stunts around a bike rally, which is kind of cool.
So you get all kinds of bikes there. You get dirt bikes.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's the full gambit of everything. Like Evil was a Harley guy, obviously, so lots of Harleys. But you also get like everything under the sun, otherwise too, and you get stunts. So you get like people like Travis Pastrana have shown up there in the past, and guys like that just do stunts on. They set the main street of Butte is basically a stunt arena. And so guys are like jumping over buses on bikes and stuff and doing the loop and the whole thing. So
that always makes me think of Ocean's 13 when Don Cheadle steals the motorcycle stunt guy's costume and he walks into Al Pacino's office and he's like, I'm not doing dirt bikes, I'm doing heavy bike. Heavy bike jumps.
Heavy bike jumps. I'm doing it. So we getting back to the pay-per-view, we go to a video montage of the WCW Bike Convoy, which started from the Mall of America in Minneapolis to Sturgis. I did the map quest of this trip, by the way, or the Google Maps, I guess now. It was a 8-hour and 31-minute ride from Minneapolis to Sturgis. So I'm thinking they might have split this up and made it look like they rode that entire distance, but I've seen some stuff online in the last few hours and that stuff that have kind of contradict that.
They probably just pulled aside, did a quick shot or two, and then went back into the trailer.
There was, believe it or not, a group of about 5 or 6 wrestlers based in the Minneapolis area and that stuff that, along with Eric Bischoff, here's a picture from Bischoff's Twitter from that ride out to Sturgis from Minneapolis. That's his daughter, by the way. That's riding passenger with Eric.
That doesn't look like him. Is that weird? It doesn't.
That's Eric. He just hasn't shaved for like like a
Okay.
week or something.
He's been hanging out with Hogan again.
Yeah, basically, yes. But there we go.
Didn't
So
have to dye his facial hair though.
yeah, exactly. But so it was Bischoff was the ring leader. Medusa that bike that Medusa rode out to the ring for her match was her bike at the time, that pink Harley.
Okay.
So it was Bischoff, Medusa, Scott Norton, the Steiners, both of them, and who was the fourth? Diamond Dallas Page. Oh, the five of them did the physical 8-hour and 15-minute trip from the Mall of America out to Sturgis as kind of a team unity bonding type thing. And there were some, I think there was like a producer that rode out with them and a couple of cameramen and stuff like that, and some technical folks. So in all, there was a group of like 10 people that kind of grouped together and did this. And Bischoff says that it's one of the most fun things he's ever done, obviously, as in his role at WCW at the time and that stuff and everything. That he said he loved that trip. It was just a great convoy. So,
and nobody was wearing a helmet.
No, the 90s, right? So,
well, I mean, there's quite a few states that don't. You're allowed to ride without a helmet on.
I mean, the kid was riding a helmet because the kid has to wear a helmet.
At
Right?
least, yeah, I was gonna say at least he put one on his daughter, but at the same time, like I've been riding, I will never ride a bike without a full face helmet. I've taken the rock off the collarbone right here. I was wearing a shirt and I was on the highway, just a quick highway trip. Because usually if I go on the highway, I put on my full jacket with my padding and everything. But it was a hot day. It was like plus 30, and I was just riding down the Rolly View Leduc to get to Beaumont.
Yeah. Little country road type thing.
Yeah. Secondary
highway. Yeah.
Nice little rip. And I was coming down the hill and the guy coming up and a rock kicked off the mud flap and went flying, hit me right here. And I got like dead arm for like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
I was like, and like it sucked. So I was like, taking that off the dome, especially like I've heard of like big rocks getting kicked off like semi trucks or dump trucks or stuff like that, or coming off a dirt road. Like, you get knocked out.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm never riding a bike without a helmet.
Yeah. No, I hear you for sure. To me, it wouldn't be rocks. It would be bugs. Especially where we live. I've had my visor up on my helmet before, just in town, and gone through like a park area, and then it's like, you're just like, oh no, exactly that annoying swarm of like no-see-ums or whatever that you walk through sometimes on the sidewalk or in the middle of the road in like, let's say June or August. Is like amplified when you're going like 80K, on a highway or something.
Even doing 50K in town.
50K, yeah. Visor down.
Visor down. Exactly. What am I doing?
Yeah. So, all right. Our next contest is the U.S. heavyweight title match. This thing ran 14 minutes and 17 seconds. It's Eddie Guerrero versus, all of our favorites, the Nature Boy, Ric Flair. This one, again, like I said, was 14-17 for the U.S. heavyweight title. Ric Flair retains. Yes, this is the match where the lights go out, and times during this match they fix it, but it's a very kind of lax kind of. That doesn't look right. Okay, change it. Okay, let's try that. That still doesn't work. Okay, there's no hurry. Or no urgency, I guess.
They didn't test the lighting last night. No.
Nah. Because again, I think the crew was, partaking in the Sturgis libations, that point. But
do it live.
We'll do it live. Well, it was Turner, CNN, right? Bill O'Reilly was working for CNN when he did that, so do it live. I swear that's their mission statement somewhere in their building. We'll do it live. Okay, so interesting fact, and I just brainstormed this while I was watching this. So over a calendar year in 1995-1996, the Nature Boy Ric Flair, who has long been considered the Mercedes-Benz of pro wrestling, the guy, the the icon, the legend, whatever. Wrestled in various, so all of the various arenas that Flair wrestled in from 95 to 96 during this WCW contract that he was in. So everything in the US, all their pay-per-view stuff, whatever, your traditional arenas, on top of the Korakuen Hall in Japan, because he did some hits for New Japan at that point. North Korea, because he was the star that was shipped to North Korea by WCW to wrestle at that International Inoki Peace Festival against Antonio Inoki in Pyongyang, North Korea.
That was this year?
That was
95.
That was 95, yeah.
Okay.
So I'm talking the calendar year 95, 96. Sturgis Bike Rally. Disney World, because WCW would have taped at Disney World. And if you expand it to July of 1995, so just over that year, add Huntington Beach, California, the beach itself, to that list, because they were doing a crossover promotion with Baywatch of all things, and WCW had a pay-per-view on the beach at Huntington Beach called Bash at the Beach.
That's quite a year.
So you have the Mercedes-Benz
everywhere,
of pro wrestling basically being thrown around, everything from top traditional arenas to gravel parking lots.
I've been in front of dictators and I've been in front of bikers.
Basically, over this 1 year.
Dictators and bikers. And everything in between.
Everything in between. Damn it.
Children at Disneyland.
So,
I don't know.
you know what?
And Tito Ortiz.
So to that man right there, Ric Flair, I gotta just applaud, because just the amount of just tomfoolery and booking alone for him in 95 and 96 would be enough to drive anybody insane, but let alone the venues he was wrestling at. Like, he was WCW's all-terrain vehicle at this point.
Well, it's because Hogan, it didn't work for Hogan, brother.
No. Are you going to legit send Hulk Hogan to North Korea?
No.
I know that was the initial idea, but no, you're not going to do that.
Yeah. Well, they asked him, and he's like,
No.
I'm not going to be able to make that date, brother.
Flat out, no, of course.
And honestly, at this time, that probably would have been the match. Like, they probably wanted was Antonio Inoki versus Hulk Hogan.
Mm-hmm.
Did they ever fight? Did they ever have a match?
They did it in New Japan, yeah.
They did in New Japan, but not in the 90s. That was an early 80s thing. Yeah. So
that was even like before like the big Hulkamania, because he came back, and then
we're talking just prior to him shooting Rocky 3, which was the Thunderlips thing that
82-83 he was 82, in Japan.
83, yeah.
Who won that match?
Inoki went over, I believe.
They traded the belt once, and Inoki won the G4
had a series
that
of
Hogan
matches.
was part of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but ultimately Inoki, quote unquote, won the feud because, of course, he's the top babyface in that company. So
yeah, he got the final win. He got the final W. Yeah,
got the final W. But
that was the last time Hulk Hogan said he'd go over for anybody.
Actually, it's weird. If you look at Hogan in Japan, he's actually one of the most amicable guys in Japan. He'll do the job for guys in Japan during that era if they have enough stature and that stuff. Like, him and Great Muta traded wins. Him and Inoki traded wins. When you get over to SWS, they basically booked Hogan to be a superstar, but that's because SWS was basically WWF Japan at that point.
I watched one of his matches from just after he left WWF. He fought Muta, and they actually had a really, really good match. Like, Hogan was moving 3 times faster than he normally moves.
Mm-hmm. Remember, Hogan has a different finish in Japan than he does in America.
Yeah, he has the Axe Bomber.
Yep.
What's the Axe Bomber?
A flying double X handle where he just bounces off the ropes and runs at the guy. That's it.
Yeah.
It's even worse than the leg drop.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. If you watch the movie No Holds Barred, it's the move that kills Zeus. They're fighting along the top of the broadcast center there. That's the Axe Bomber. Yeah.
So you thought until he came back at SummerSlam.
regenerated by Brill's money.
Zeus is just the Ra's al Ghul of
yeah. Well, maybe that's something to look at out of the channel coming forward. we are getting to December, and it's for me that movie is a Christmas favorite. But anyway, whatever.
You consider No Holds Barred a Christmas movie?
Yeah, because its initial release, its pay-per-view release was in December. That's why. So in '89, because they released it in theaters and it didn't turn a drop in theaters during the summer. So they did a pay-per-view release that was a little bit more lucrative, and that was in December of '89. So, but anyway, that's beside the point. Back to this match here. This is Eddie Guerrero's first real match with a high-end main eventer. Like Ric Flair, Sting, Lex Luger, etc., that WCW had, because Eddie had just jumped over from ECW the fall before, and Eddie's popularity and that stuff with the crowd and that stuff has kind of elevated him to these type of matches at that point. Finish is Eddie goes for the frog splash. He nails it on Flair, but he bangs his knee on the landing, so he's selling the knee, and that allows Flair to lock into figure 4. And with Woman holding Flair's arms on the outside, the Nature Boy nets the 1-2-3. If anything, this pay-per-view kind of showed me how underrated Nancy Benoit was as a heel manager.
Yeah, she was busy tonight.
She was really good. It's really good. Unfortunately, it's probably because of what happened and that stuff. But Woman needs her nod as actually being one of the top heel valets or managers in wrestling history. I think she's very devious, very cunning out there.
Yeah, she started out doing the whole thing with like Kevin Sullivan, and they had a lot of heat in the 80s and 90s.
Yep.
The whole cult
the
thing.
Fall Angel, yes.
Yeah.
Yep. And so there we go. So what thoughts on Eddie Guerrero's kind of first big dance with a noted main event player like Flair?
I thought this was my favorite match of the night.
Yes.
Besides the lighting, some technical issues. I mean, knowing Flair's Flair and considering within 10 years of this, Eddie Guerrero is hosting the WWE Championship at WrestleMania.
Yep.
The trajectory that Guerrero goes from here and the working, and like, and in many ways, it's like a young Guerrero coming out of ECW, already kind of has the I don't think he has the Latino heat kind of mantra yet.
He's finding himself still.
He's still trying to find out who he is. Yeah.
He's still plucky young babyface at this point. I'm a plucky young baby
with this jacket,
with a shiny jacket.
But when I think of Eddie Guerrero and his like his career and like what was his kind of like his MO is lie, cheat, and steal, and like the throw the chair to the guy and drop down and then point to the ref, and stuff like that, and it's who was who before him was the guy of the oh please no don't, and then the dirty move and the eye poke.
Roddy Piper would be the closest.
Roddy. A lot of the stuff that you see in the 90s from Flair, especially in the 90s, he basically carbon copy of what Piper was doing in the 80s. So so Piper and Flair, these guys, and then Guerrero comes after. Yeah.
And so it's like in many ways you're seeing a student learn from the teacher kind of a thing here, and I thought a good match, well-rounded match.
Yeah, absolutely. Same thing. It was my favorite match so far of the night. The crowd actually was semi-interested.
They were into it. Yep.
Fine.
Because
it's a fun match just to watch, and we're now 20 years removed from Guerrero passing as of the last week. So
I know. Yeah. Time flies. And
Flair is still alive somehow. He's holding on.
He actually did die once. Flair did die once.
I tell ya.
Yeah, he came. He died and then was resurrected. Was on ICU for like a week, and then survived, and now he's drinking and partying again.
Yeah, he's back out. It's the booze, it's the broads, and it's the brawl. Woo! Basically.
Well, and I think part of the reason why the crowd, I think, maybe did kind of stop and get interested in this is because Ric Flair is one of those stars, even at this point, that even if you didn't really know wrestling that much, if you heard of like, woo, you know, you're like, oh yeah, that's that Ric Flair guy. Like everybody, like I think Joe Rogan does that joke in one of his specials where he goes like, who? Ric Flair. He just says his name and the whole crowd goes, woo! Like, just like everybody knows.
There would have been enough, you know, even with the casual bikers in the crowd and that stuff, whatever, that had watched, you know, either his WWF run in 92 or maybe, you know, wrestling when they were younger or something like that. And they would have known Ric Flair from like the early 80s or so, you know. Right?
But the other thing is, Ric Flair knows how to work this type of crowd because he's been working this type of intelligence and crowd for decades at this point.
Oh God, yeah. He can work again, the all-terrain vehicle. He could do anything. So
he was always wrestling in front of rednecks and hillbillies for a long time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He could. Ric Flair could put on a 30-minute clinic and entertain a bunch of kids at a Chuck E. Cheese, like in his prime. Like he could just be like, "Oh, that's another slice of pizza!" Woo! And they're like, "Yeah, Ric Flair!" Like,
does that include
Happy birthday, kid? Now give this to your mama.
Does that include Chucky coming out of nowhere and ambushing Flair with a steel chair and Flair blading all over the kids and bleeding?
Ric Flair's blade is bleeding. He's covered in blood.
I know.
This chair.
Oh, God.
The kids are just like, what is
Flair starts
happening?
to get mad, takes off his clothes, and starts elbowing nothing.
Does the running knee jumps
Exactly. Into the ball pit.
into the ball pit?
Woo!
God, that'd be amazing. I'd pay for that.
Does the strut right into the tube slide? Just, woo! And then
Falls down.
the face flop.
That's as fun as Space Mountain, cowboy. Woo!
Can I go home now, Mr. Flair?
What do you mean, Billy?
What do you mean?
He comes out of the ball pit. What do you mean? You're not entertained yet? Woo!
Jim Crockett says we have 30 more minutes. Woo! Anyways, we have a challenge match next. This card just keeps giving. It's the card that never stops. It's the Outsiders, Kevin Nash and Scott Hall, taking on Sting and Lex Luger. This was a tag team match. This one ran 14 minutes and 36 seconds. This is kind of a rematch of sorts for Bash at the Beach, rather. Just not involving, obviously, Macho Man or Hulk Hogan in this. This is the Outsiders versus Sting and Luger, you know, throughout this thing. And match, basically, I thought was a good match to progress storyline. Nothing really to write home about in this thing. This was just kind of more of you know, this would be a Nitro main event, basically.
When does Sting check out soon after this event?
No, he starts. There's a thing that happens on Nitro leading up to Fall Brawl that questions, and that's when the NWO starts running the fake Sting.
So he does Fall Brawl and then leaves after that. Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
That's what starts the whole staring from the rafters thing.
Yeah. Because the fake Sting jumps Luger, jumps Savage, jumps the members of the WCW team going into War Games, and then the NWO employs old Jumpin' Jeff Farmer to be the fake Sting. Yep, and they do that for a bit, and then at Fall Brawl is when the real Sting comes out, lays out the fake Sting, lays out the NWO, and basically tells WCW to stick it and walks off.
I have no friends now. I'm grumpy.
And then he goes and watches The Crow on repeat over and over and over again.
And he's like,
Goff and
you know what's a good wrestling character? That Brandon Lee guy.
Yes.
Yeah. Wasn't it Scott Hall that was backstage with Sting because he's like, hey, yo,
Scott Hall watch The Crow? Yeah.
And then like Sting's like, no, and he like checked it out and was like, damn, this is sick. I gotta do it.
I could do that.
Just took the entire gimmick of The Crow. Because I had never seen The Crow. I just watched wrestling. And then like I remember seeing Sting, and then somebody said, "Oh yeah, he was inspired by the Crow," and then I
That's what
googled
it
the
was.
Crow, and I was like, "Well, he's just the Crow. That's his whole thing with this thing. He's just
playing
the Crow.
Yeah,
He's got a vulture on his arm and everything." Just
Scott Hall kind of has that thing. He loves movies and he puts it into he gets it into characters because his Razor Ramon character was a carbon copy of Tony Montana
from Scarface. Yeah, it's the Scarface run. Yeah.
well, I mean, I should be the one to talk because I run my LARP, and one of the most potent villains in our game is Balthagor, the demon that I play. And you can't do any physical damage to him. You can't shoot arrows, cast spells, attacks. You have to banish him, and he's just the fiend.
I was gonna say,
he has the fiend mask, and I'm just the fiend with a big sword and horns, and I'm like, I'm just basically the fiend.
Yeah.
That's the whole point. I even at one point in the trailer was like, "Let me in." So it was like, there you go.
And they're like, too far.
Well, not a lot of wrestling fans in the game.
So it's fresh to them. Hey,
they're like, who's that? And I'm like, the Fiend. And then they Google it and they're like, oh, yeah.
Yeah,
cool.
There we go.
Yeah.
And now you created a wrestling fan.
Exactly.
There we go. That's right. Get more people in on it. I skipped over something. There was a promo just prior to the tag match here with the Outsiders and Sting. It was the Giant, and this is how the lighting kind of has devolved during the show here. We're on one giant spotlight kind of lighting everything in the foreground type deal. With the Giant
again, a production wasn't able to test the lighting rigs last night.
It looks like they're like watching a Phil Collins show. Just like
shut up, guys! They're about to play in the air tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Susu Studio.
Fuck. But yeah, the Sting Luger match with the Outsiders, I thought, it was okay. Like, it was good.
It was a television main event. It's what it would have been. It would have been a Nitro main event. Yeah.
And I was kind of thinking, I was like, all right, you've kind of built up the mid card. There's a lull, and now you're setting up for the big main event here.
Yeah, it's kind of the rising action to the main event. So,
and then,
by the way, the finish to this thing too. Sting on the outside locks in Kevin Nash on the Scorpion Deathlock, and meanwhile Hall hits Nick Patrick in the eye as Luger picks Hall up for the torture rack, I should say. Patrick kind of holding his eye inadvertently, in air quotes, trips and chop blocks Luger, allowing Hall to land on top of Luger for the 1-2 So we have the beginning of the infamous Nick Patrick heel turn. Yes, here. So
our second ever heel ref in wrestling in the last decade.
Mm-hmm.
Who is the first heel ref?
That would have been Danny Davis.
Third, if you count the fake Hebner as well.
So fake Hebner and Dave Hebner.
Yeah.
Has the fake anything ever worked in a wrestling storyline? Like, has
fake Kurt Angle,
fake
Eric Angle,
fake Razor, fake
Kane,
Undertaker, fake Kane.
Fake Rockers,
fake Razor, fake Diesel.
Fake Razor, fake Diesel.
Never worked.
And recently, how many El Grande Americanos have we had? Right, so
but they're not calling each other fake though.
No, but there's like
I thought that was always Chad Gable.
Not anymore. Now it's
not anymore. It's Ludwig Kaiser. We think at this.
And then sometimes it's also Pete Dunne, and also sometimes it's Tyler Bate.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's kind of one of those. At least it's not. What was the Hulk Hogan Mr. America thing that he was doing? And like he was like, I'm not Hulk Hogan, brother. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. Like,
but that was the funny bit about that.
America is running wild, brother.
It was the word. And like, I'm gonna train Zach Gowen. I'm like, shut up. I hate this. And then the lie detector test. Are you the biggest son of a bitch in the world? No. He's like, oh.
That is Vince McMahon comedy right there. You're watching.
Yeah,
that is. Yeah. he likes Vince likes his comedy from like the 1960s. Like he must have been like a fan of like Laugh-In or something.
Buster
like that.
Keaton was a big inspiration in his comedy life.
Oh, for sure.
But by the way, the buzzer in the lie detector test was fun, but I think they should have used this.
Big gone. Oh.
Right.
That's a Pink Floyd gong there. That's about a prog rock gong.
I thought that was the Mortal Kombat theme for a
Yeah, it
second.
sounded like the Mortal Kombat film.
Test your might in the Sims.
We're getting into that era of WCW too, where they start bringing in the Mortal Kombat-esque characters here the next a few weeks after this show, where we got Mortis and Glacier and
Mortis. Here's the thing with Mortis.
Yeah.
Mortis, I thought, had legs. Like they could have really done something with Mortis, because that wasn't that.
That was Canyon.
Canyon. That was Canyon under a mask. Yeah.
And I was like, I thought they could have really done something with that. Like it was almost like a Kane before there was Kane.
Yeah.
And they just kind of dropped it.
Well, remember the idea on that is that WCW wanted to do basically all of the Mortal Kombat characters as wrestlers, but they didn't have the license, obviously, so they were going to do knockoffs, and eventually that was going to lead to its own spin-off video game with these wrestlers.
Because they had Wrath, I think, also joined it.
Yeah,
Out of Bomb.
Wrath was, as basically,
and then
Adam
Ernest
Bomb
Cat
with a
Miller.
mask. Yeah.
Yeah.
The cat, which was going to be your Johnny Cage almost, right? So
Somebody call his mama.
WCW.
Jerry Flynn, they signed Jerry Flynn as well, who was like a kickboxing K1 kickbox champion and stuff like that. He was going to be their coach and also probably double in this as well. So
But his charisma was like zero.
yeah. So
I just see it's like, all right, on Bash at the Beach 97, we have Diamond Dallas Page versus Liu Kang. The WCW US Television Championship.
Winner gets a soul.
Shang Tsung versus Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, you're booking a friend of mine's GM mode from SmackDown versus Raw in 2004.
Jeez.
He had Raiden as his Intercontinental Champion, if I remember.
Kevin Nash, your soul is mine.
Kevin Nash as the Super Shredder.
Yeah,
And Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in the way.
All right. So now we get into the main event. So it's time for the singles match for the WCW World Heavyweight Championship. This one runs 14 minutes and 56 seconds. It's the in-ring debut of Hollywood Hulk Hogan, and he's taking on the Giant, who's the WCW champion at this time. Man, is it weird seeing Hogan do the Hollywood thing and not have the black beard in at this point? It's just starting to happen, but it's not fully growing in.
He's still growing his beard back, I think, from shooting the movie.
Yeah, that's right. So it's still kind of the classic Hogan with the Fu Manchu, but it's not. It's just weird seeing him kind of half transition at that point, right? So he looks kind of half baked.
I don't think he's using the fake hair at this point on the back.
Mm-hmm. No, no, not at this point. And it's at this. He's still very much Hulk Hogan, just with the shade of black over top of him and NWO. By the way, Hogan's tank top is actually badass. They kind of turned him into like the Terminator a little bit.
Oh yeah, I thought his T-shirt was really cool.
That was really cool. Yeah, I love the early NWO designs that they had come out. It was like, man, that would be a product line that I hope somebody has kept the artwork for and that stuff. That I would love to see a reissue for. Would be like the early NWO stuff from '96. That'd be great.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be cool. The intro by Michael Buffer with the bikes going in the background and everything.
Wrong audience for him.
I was thinking,
it's kind of epic. I hate to say, I really enjoyed it. I was like, this is cool.
I was thinking he probably would have gone through that curtain and, probably been like, why did you even have me out here? I couldn't say shit. And they got all these rednecks just ripping bikes.
I've played MGM Grand.
Yes. Like he's introduced like the world's best, because this is 96. We're well into the Tyson.
He's already done Mike Tyson matches and stuff.
Oh, yeah. So like he's like, what is this shit? You have me out in a field. Yelling over motorcycles.
Yeah. Basically. Yeah. So
why'd you book me here, stupid agent?
Yeah.
How much money am I getting from this? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was going to say they probably paid him a couple tens of thousands.
We got $1 million just
just $1 million to say let's get ready to rumble, right? Yeah. He's like, he got his payday. I guess he's like, whatever, I'm out.
Yeah.
I'll go to the bar after.
Yeah. So the Giant
Ric Flair's over there already.
Yeah. Woo!
Yeah. He left after his match.
Hey, Michael, I have a seat for you.
Woo!
Keeping it warm, daddy. Woo. The Giant is the world heavyweight champion just over a year into the industry at this time, too. So don't forget, his first in-ring match was with Hulk Hogan at Halloween Havoc 1995. That was his in-ring debut.
He's only 23 years old here.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a baby giant. Just a baby in this industry. So he's 23. There was a time, Craig, you wouldn't believe this, that Big Show Paul White, the Giant, could do drop kicks, and he did top rope drop kicks. This was this time in 95, 96.
Before he hit the age of 25.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, I mean, and it kind of shows that, like, you know, because he did suffer. He does have acromegaly. Like, he was able to get a pituitary.
Yeah, he's hurting.
Surgery,
yeah.
To like kind of like stop him. Like, he could have gotten, like, he could have been bigger.
He would have been like Andre. Yeah.
He would have been like Andre, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like he was able to get the surgery to stop it, but like he was still like 7 feet tall and 400 pounds, like at his peak.
At his works,
yeah. At this point, I'd say that he's about a legit maybe 325, 350. Yeah,
he's pretty good shape here.
So
he's pretty lean here. I know, because he
they say
WWE, and then
they say 400 here. I think he's probably about 325, 350 legit in this match. But he's a cut 325, 350. Yeah,
he looks like he could be starting a lineman for any football team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
he's in great shape.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and then the test of strength fear during the match. Yeah, exactly.
And I think this is kind of what Big Show has talked about. He is this monster, he is this giant, and of course Hogan comes in and like is able to beat him in a test of strength, and it's like you're really downplaying, and like he talks about like how like some of the NWO tactics. He's like, a guy that comes out that's that big as him, really should be protected, because he needs to, you got to have a giant killer, kind of like, that menace. Andre, you would like Andre the Giant, if he was like younger and he was still around and, was able to go into the ring with the NWO, like having Andre the Giant come into the ring and beat Andre the Giant.
Yeah.
They should be scared of Andre.
Yeah. All throwing the toothpick and they're all doing this.
The psychology would have been the NWO would have had a pack
hightailed it as soon as Andre came out.
Well, they would have hightailed it, but the only way to get to Andre would have been a pack beatdown. He would have needed like 6 or 8 guys to put the boots to him, right? That's the thing.
But you wouldn't have like had Hulk Hogan beat Andre the Giant one-on-one in a test of strength.
No.
This after this, the Giant's career kind of nosedives for a while.
He gets put into a tag team with Lex Luger. That's on again, off again for a bit, and then he's in the NWO. He's out of the NWO. He's in the NWO.
He doesn't really pick up his momentum again until he goes to WWF.
That's right. Yeah. So,
and even there, like I've heard like Undertaker telling stories, like they were kind of talking on his podcast 6 Feet Under about how like the Giant came in, and because it was like you were in WCW, you were huge, and that's all you needed, but like now you came into WWF, and like we're trying to like I'm trying to show you like, hey, this is a better way to you're a Giant, you got to be doing this kind of a move and that kind of a move, and you got to be selling this less and that more, and
you're not a catered made opponent for Hogan anymore. You can be more. Yes, exactly.
And like that's like the joke, because Kane was on as a guest host on on 6 Feet Under, when he was laughing because he's like, remember it was like a SummerSlam because it was Kane and X-Pac versus Taker and Show, and like in the middle of the match, I guess Undertaker just got
that match.
We did, that's right.
We did do that match. Yep.
And
it's back in the
Taker,
archive.
yeah, and Taker got so mad that he just slapped Big Show.
Yeah.
He's just like, stop being a dick.
Yeah.
Like, just like, oh, okay.
Take him aside and
Yeah.
Again, he didn't have Paul didn't have the training, I don't think, in WCW at all.
No.
He was just
Of course
like,
not.
here you go, kid. Best of luck.
Yeah, basically.
And then I think, obviously, with better training in WWF, like Big Show, definitely one of the best big men of all time, I think.
Mhm.
But it took a while to get there. It took a couple years to get there.
Mhm.
Like the feud with Lesnar was really like
that's what built him back up. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Huge men, just like and the ring break. That was that was a really cool.
Yeah,
I remember seeing that on SmackDown.
The feud with Lesnar, yes, and then later on, definitely his work with JBL in early 2005, I thought made Big Show, really good too. But that's because JBL was really good at that time too. So it's two guys kind of using each other to elevate each other, which is what you love to see. So that was, that was a lot of fun, and always fun to have the short-lived wrestler valet run of Big Show and Joy Giovanni during too.
There's a name.
That's the name from the past, right? So.
And as far as this match goes,
yes,
I just felt like it was kind of a dry fart and the night.
This is not the best Hogan.
No, this is just pretty much a Hogan walk. Hogan just walked to the title and then just walk around with the title.
Hogan wanted to send everybody home happy, but it was like, you're not doing that. You're just
you're a heel.
Like, oh, there it is.
Yeah, Hogan. What looks like the finish was what looked like the Giant trying to set Hogan up for the choke slam, ends up being his downfall because the NWO gets involved and Hogan gets the pinfall victory. So that's basically that. Yeah,
I just felt that this pay-per-view ended with just like, I'm like, that sucks.
So the Booty Man birthday cake thing did nothing for you, Craig? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, that's right. They did the booty.
There was an angle right after this. There was an angle right after the match.
Oh, so stupid.
Right after the match, it didn't end. We got 10 more minutes of bollocks.
They had to fill time on the satellite. So post-match, the Booty Man walks
birthday
out.
Cake for Hogan,
And he has jump shift. He's wearing Hogan's tank top. He's all in black. He's given the too sweet to the guys in the ring, the whole deal. And he brings a birthday cake to the ring. It's Hogan's
birthday, yeah.
It's Hogan's birthday. And with a gift, a cylindrical gift. It looks like it's in a cylinder type thing. And Hogan challenges Flair to a matchup in Denver at Clash of the Champions for the belt, which ends up being the main event. It's going to be the U.S. champion, Ric Flair, versus Hulk Hogan, or Hollywood Hulk Hogan now, the WCW champion. And then the NWO attacks the Booty Man, sends the cake flying, the whole deal, the 9 yards. And
they don't accept the proposal.
Hogan takes the belt and smokes the Booty Man in the face, which I thought they'd make more of a big deal of because of Brutus's face injuries and stuff and whatever.
This was after his accident.
Plus, he just main evented Starrcade only less than a year ago.
Yeah, this is your ex-Starrcade main eventer. You're throwing to the butcher.
I remember he's walking out in the NWO, and I was like, I didn't think Brutus Beefcake was in the NWO at the start.
Yeah.
And then that happened. I was like, oh yeah, of course this happened.
Yeah, of course. So they attack him. He powders to the outside, and then we got the infamous Hogan spray painting the big gold belt, which is so still iconic of that NWO era and that stuff. And you can still get replica belts on like Fanatic Shop Zone for WWF or WWE, I should say. That's like $425 a pop or something, even more now. It's probably like $800 for the big gold belt with the NWO spray paint on it if you wanted to. Yeah, this shot here. Just the iconic look of Hollywood Hogan during this heel run. So he looks like Angry Dad there. So there we go.
that was it is an iconic shot, an iconic belt. I mean, that if anything is like all that silliness and lackluster main event just for a really iconic moment at the end.
It is. It's basically for that moment right there.
Yeah.
And you can tell there's a title change because where the name bar is, there's no name on it on the belt on the bottom.
There you go.
So there we go. So That's if you're ever curious, Wrestling Insiders, if you're ever watching a title match with a big gold belt, if they show a shot at a big gold belt with the champion's name on it, there might be a title change and that stuff. If they show a shot at a big gold belt and there's no name bar on the bottom, there's going to be a title change. So
the champion should be like, wait, where did it go? I'm not going out there.
Here's my name bar.
Yeah, I'm missing my name bar. Yeah, exactly. So
this is the red shirt from Star Trek. I'm not buying it.
Exactly. What's it called? Occam's razor? Is that what it is? No, I can't remember the literary term.
I think Occam's razor is like the choice or something.
The choice. Yeah, that's exactly right.
Can't remember, but yeah,
not so much the end product, right? But anyway.
It's just definitely an omen of like, oh, something he's gonna die.
There we go. Yes, exactly. All right, so we'll tell the Undertaker to rest in peace at the end of this one because it is time for our ratings out of 10 for the show. And I'll go first here, gentlemen. I thought even with the crowd, there are still some pretty solid matches. And this card is actually very universally critically acclaimed for the undercard. It's one of the better undercards that WCW ever produced in wrestling history, basically, and so on and so forth. So I will give Road Wild 1996, WCW Hog Wild, rather, a 7.5 out of 10 for the evening. I thought it was a very watchable card, even with the goofy bikers. And, on top of that, the matches are definitely ones that, stand out as stuff that you could watch and rewatch if you have to. And like I said, the iconic moment at the end of Hogan spray painting the WCW title to say NWO, that's sets such a tone for the upcoming couple of years for WCW and what we're about to enter in the wrestling industry and so forth at that time. So anyway, we'll go next to Moorhouse. What's your rating out of 10 for this?
I'm going to give it... I was going to be harsher on it, but after talking to you fine gentlemen today and making me appreciate the show more than I actually did, yes. I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. It was a fun show to talk about. I mean, yeah, the crowd wasn't the best and took it down a few notches, but overall, it was entertaining. I had fun talking about it today.
Yeah, for sure. It's always a fun deal to go back to WCW during this time. So, Craig, what are you giving this thing out of 10? It was your choice. So.
Yeah, I'm a little harsher. I'm going to say 5 out of 10.
5 out of 10? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The reasoning is, I think, had there maybe been a better main event match, better crowd and venue, and maybe, not the Benoit Malenko match could have been shorter.
Very much so, yes.
Better undercard would have made this an 8 out of 10 for me. But it was just a couple things. Sometimes, I guess you were judging it on overall presentation. Sometimes it's out of the wrestler's hands. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with the Harlem Heat Steiner match, but that crowd, the crowd
was bad. Yeah.
So,
it's just, yeah. So
if this show was taken out of Sturgis and it was just a Hog Wild like a biker themed pay-per-view at an arena, let's say in like
in Nassau Coliseum.
Okay, keep it in the Dakotas. Go like Fargo, North Dakota, or Bismarck, North Dakota as well. Well, and that stuff, because there's a couple of college arenas that they have there and that stuff for the hockey teams there and everything like that. Take it out of that and put it in like a 6,000, 8,000 seat arena
with wrestling fans.
Do you think that maybe ups it a little bit?
Maybe a 6.
Maybe yeah. I think it maybe gives it an 8 for me. Then if that's the case, not by much, but it definitely makes it a very watchable show. And I think it's a good follow up to Bash at the Beach and the continuation of the NWO WCW storyline and that stuff. The real beats of the storyline though are yet to come, and they really hit starting with that War Games match in September. That's basically the next can of kerosene that's dumped on this. Is the whole Sting betrayal /
can we trust Sting?
Can we trust Sting again beat that comes out? That's such a huge part of everything that's going to be upcoming and that stuff, and basically reshapes everything going into 97. It's such a
what is
stuff.
Is it Starrcade 97 where it's the Sting Hogan match?
Yes, it leads. It basically, you're basically leading up to Starrcade '97. Starrcade '96 ends up being Roddy Piper versus Hulk Hogan, and Roddy Piper getting the win over Hulk Hogan. But Hogan, I don't think Hogan's the world heavyweight champion in that match.
No, Luger already took it.
Luger already took it from him, so it's just a win over Hollywood Hulk Hogan at that point. So, but you know, that's Piper, but that's because WCW signs Piper, which is a big enough grab in itself. And
it's kind of a Piper Hogan 10 years later.
Yeah. And then we go and yes, and one little footnote here, a little bike industry footnote that I found while doing some research on this thing too. WCW drops the name Hog Wild to go to Road Wild for the rest of this pay-per-view's lifespan from 97 through 99. Do you know the reason why?
Isn't it because Hog is Hog Wild was, isn't it? No, it's something like that was like another movie or something.
Nothing to do with a movie or anything like that.
Oh,
Hog is an acronym for the Harley Davidson Owners Group of the United States of America. They owned the corporate acronym HOG. And so because WCW didn't consult the Harley Owners Group of North America before going to Sturgis, they sued and ended up winning the case. And WCW was prohibited from using the name Hog Wild in upcoming events. So they just went Road Wild at that point.
They were World Wildlife Foundation.
Yeah. By the Harley Owners Group, of all people. That's an interesting little
the event you're help promoting, they also attacked.
Bikers, am I right?
Well, and I think they were also a big contributor of like the Sturgis Festival.
That's right. Yeah. They were one of the co-presenting organizations that always puts it on down there, right?
And that was also some of like the issues in the late 90s and early 2000s was a lot of the 1%er clubs, these sort of outlaw clubs. So the Hells Angels, Outlaws, Banditos.
Yeah, Satan's slaves, stuff like that.
They wanted to come to Sturgis, and these were like, "No, you guys are giving it a bad name," and it's like it's already bad. Like, but they didn't want them.
The house is already wrecked. Well, I mean, like, you know,
they didn't want like they wanted they didn't want to invite the wolves into the hen house or kind of thing.
Basically, yes, yeah. So, but yeah, that's that. So that was Hog Wild, everybody. Moorhouse, it's your choice now for pay-per-view, and I believe you've made that choice. So what are we watching next on the channel?
We're going back to 1991 to see when The Undertaker defended his world title reign for the one time he had to defend it.
Wow. So we're going to Texas. We're going to this Tuesday in Texas. I've never seen that show, so it's going to be very interesting to see that. It's a short show. It's a very short pay-per-view. So
yeah, it's under 2 hours.
It's under 2 hours. Yeah, it's an experiment by WWF and the Titan at that point, which basically meant that the Survivor Series that led into it, they basically kind of crumpled it up and threw it away at the last minute to put everything in on this Tuesday in Texas. So
yeah, and I think because I just Googled, so this was December of 1991 that we're going to be looking at.
Yes, because this is like a week or so after
Survivor Series. Yeah.
Survivor Series, yeah.
And it's interesting because this is kind of a similar thing where it's like there's actually 14 matches on the card, but only 4 of them, or I guess 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them made it onto this Tuesday.
On pay-per-view,
yeah. You have all like there was literally 9 matches before that were on.
So you have another board crowd.
You actually had Ric Flair and Roddy Piper in the main event of the dark matches.
Yeah, because they were shot for Wrestling Challenge Superstars.
Yeah.
And all of the syndicated TV WWF was producing at that time. So
whoa, you had the Legion of Doom and the Rockers with Michaels and Jannetty? Like, that's crazy. That was a dark match.
I'd like to see that today. Yeah.
That might have actually been shot for home video too. It's another thing. I know
WWF action coming to VCRs everywhere, featuring the Road Warriors taking on the Rockers.
I know WWE on their Vault YouTube channel has been looping old WWF Coliseum video releases and everything. So maybe that's on there too. So whatever. And as we go to air with this today, we recorded this on November 22nd, 2025. I believe earlier today or yesterday, they uploaded the full Survivor Series 1991 show. So you can watch the full Survivor Series 1991, get kind of a sense of what's happening, and then go into this Tuesday in Texas. At least that's how I'm going to do it. So
interesting. Yeah. I'll check that out.
Yeah, absolutely. So there we go. So this Tuesday in Texas is going to be the next one here. We hope to have TL back for that. But Craig, they can follow you on Blue Sky. Is that where they're going?
Blue Sky, yeah. You can find me on Blue Sky, cpfraser.bluesky.social. Darkest Engine LARP, we are done for the year. But we are already got our dates booked for next year.
Oh, right on. And that's up on the Dark Extension website, right?
darkextensionlarp.com. Yep.
There we go.
And our first game is going to be at Camp Mascomatoon in April.
Cool. Right on.
Heated cabins, so don't worry about it. If it gets a little chilly overnight, you got heated cabins. So.
You may or may not be competing with playoff hockey at that point. We'll see.
That is true. That is true. I mean,
well, both of our teams might not be in that.
We might not be there.
Which if that's the case, then my chances of coming out to one of these things has actually gone up at that point. So we'll see.
There you go. Fair enough.
So there we go. Moorhouse.
Hi.
We'll see you at the next time around here on the channel. I know you're working on your social media presence and that stuff, so I won't put you on the spot for it that time. But we do appreciate you jumping in, and we can't wait to take a look at this Tuesday in Texas as well. And remember, if you want to talk to Craig on the email, it's gmail@craigfraser.com. And Craig Fraser did kill 2 stones with 1 bird.
Exactly.
That's right. There we go.
I do want to quickly shout out a friend of mine.
Yes, go ahead.
He is creating a new kind of D&D game that's a lot easier to play through, and it's simpler. It's called Delve.
Okay.
DELVE. He's going to try and license it and put it on a Patreon soon. If you're interested in tabletop games, you want to play D&D, but you want something simpler as a newbie player, it's a great thing to try out.
Cool. So that will be on a Patreon. Is there a website for that? Or
no, not yet. I'll have to get the information.
Okay. So by the time that we get together again, we might have that.
Maybe. I'm playing
Email at Craig Fraser to get
email at craigfraser.com to get all the information you want on Delve. I'm sort of in his beta test for.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah. Gotcha. Fair. That'd be cool. Actually, I wouldn't mind, because I've never partaken in Dungeons and Dragons before and that stuff, but if it's a good way for people to kind of gently immerse themselves in it and that stuff, that for a couple hours, I mean, that'd be kind of cool. Sure, I'll give that a shot. Absolutely, for sure.
I could even bring you into my D&D game.
Oh,
I want to start one of those.
Okay,
I would love to do a D&D game with the 3 of you, including TL.
Yes,
that would be hilarious.
And we play as various wrestler characters.
Yes.
Yes.
It's D&D fifth edition, but you're all different skills, but you're different.
Like a Man, Ric Flair.
I think there's also WWE licensed D&D decks where you could have like Edge or John Cena show up in your D&D game if you want.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I'll have to look online and see, but I think those do exist. So.
Maybe a 2026 idea.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, hey, the year's coming. So you can follow me over on here at tinyurl.com/Nitromaniac TV. That is basically the whole enchilada. I'll get you the link to the page. Subscribe if you see a video you like, share it and share with your friends and that stuff. If you have a show you'd like for us to review, like we're just doing the review wheel right now. But we will interrupt that if the show is to our liking or whatever, and you want us to review it. Email us, nitromaniactv@gmail.com. The only ground rule is please denote the streaming service that the show is on, i.e. Netflix, if it's on YouTube somewhere, if there's a link, whatever. Just provide us the link or where it is so we can take a look at it, because unfortunately, with the network going bye-bye, we don't have access to everything anymore like we used to. So, which is kind of the crappy deal, the shitty deal with this. So, and of course, Linktree/Kellen Nitro. That's a whole lineup of all my links and that stuff. So, no OnlyFans, but nobody wants to see that. So,
And if you do, you're disgusting.
I'm more of a Fansley boy. No, just kidding. Just kidding. So, but anyways, for Craig P Fraser, for Moorhouse, I am Kellen Nitro. Later days. Happy wrestling watching, and we'll end note on. There's Medusa there throwing the trash in the bike. Yeah, right there, which brings so much pain into one Craig P Fraser's heart and that stuff. So we'll see you next time here on the channel. Later days. Happy wrestling watching. And where's my video to end on? This is it. All right. Later days, guys. Have a great day.
You got the little man, you got the big man, and you got the bigger man.